siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Play ball!
Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
That it is. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of On the Block. Austin Strick and Jay with you for the next 2 hours or so. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. As always, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Stricky, we thought Jay was going to hook us up with some of that Mercado.
Jay.
For just a second.
Man,
for just a moment. We thought.
I thought you had the hookup, man. I mean, you know, like what was that movie by Master P?
Yeah, I got the hookup.
You got I thought we was golden.
I did too. I wish.
It's a good day for Mercado, though.
It is.
It surely is.
Win. Yeah, it's a perfect day for that.
Yeah,
Jay, how you feeling, man? You feeling better?
I'm getting there, man.
Coming along. I don't know what it is. Is Thibodeau y'all, you know, radio coach or something? I mean, between you going down, VJ going down, it feels like the New York Knicks. And
no, I ain't go out like VJ. This is just I have my, you know, when we used to get rims and stuff, you had them run flats. I got my run flats on right now. I gotta get my new, was it Pirelli?
Yeah, Pirelli.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I gotta take my wheel down there to A1 Automotive.
There it
Let Ken
is.
Don't take care of it.
One
Ain't
of their
nothing
two
like them.
locations.
Yeah, I love them. They're great. I actually got to go see them real soon. Take care of the baby. What's going on, Austin Norman? You asking everybody everything, and now we're gonna ask you. How have you been?
Chilling.
You've been getting
Like
it.
a villain.
Yeah.
Mhm. Eric says preemptive pause, Strick.
There it is. He knows.
So, out of the way.
He knows it's coming. Today I'm feeling feisty. You never know what might come out today.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I might say something. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's hit the NBA first and a little bit of MLB because the through line here is superstars being let down by their franchise. Saw this from Nate Duncan, who writes about the NBA. He says, assuming the Suns don't trade Devin Booker, Jordan Ott, their new head coaching hire, will be Devin Booker's 7th non-interim coach in Phoenix.
Dang.
The man has had 7 coaches
That's crazy.
in 9 NBA seasons, tying the all-time record for most coaches in a tenure with a team.
You would think that if you
7,
move
9
teams,
years.
you would see multiple
Yeah.
coaches,
That's
but
like the damn
not at the
Chicago
same,
Bears
right?
with
Huh?
with all their quarterbacks. It's just
The
constant
quarterback,
turnover.
yeah, no
Constant-
continuity.
and the coaches too. You just can't do anything.
So
I
there's
mean,
different styles, different terminologies,
just different
different.
voice,
Yeah,
different
it's-
eye of
it's-
what they view as good.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
obviously you're there, and then this is all why he's still in the early. I mean, I wouldn't say early part of his career. He's in that middle part where he's not
Prime.
He's prime, and so
He just played his age 28 season. He was a one and done out of Kentucky. He played his first year at 19. Obviously, he's been with Phoenix the whole time. He just played his age 28 season.
yeah, so 9
Yeah,
So
years.
his
you
entire
recognize.
developmental part of his career has been spent with different coaches.
And the NBA's changed. So that means
Drastically.
as essentially he's had to reset at least twice. Rookie, say in the middle, you reset. Now he had to get used to playing with Bradley Beal and KD, and along with that, and then having the chance of get to the NBA Finals, and that's one of the things. It's almost like Dan Marino-esque. Now, obviously, Don Shula was there, but you get to the NBA Finals early in your career, somewhat. Because I feel Devin Booker is the type of player he can play as long as he wants, right? Because he can do one thing that a lot of people walking the face of earth can't do: that shoot the lights out and do things that from areas on the court that people can't do. And so I guess you would point to an ownership issue. Now
Which there was a
Two
change.
different owners.
which
Yeah.
there was a change.
Mhm.
And maybe now we'll see. And but for him, this is where when you talk about Giannis, going to ownership, different player. LeBron's went to ownership, and he's been reluctant to go to the Lakers ownership. Maybe it just hasn't been there. But generally, Kobe's went to ownership. At times, obviously, multiple times.
Mhm.
This is where Devin's going to have to take the trek from wherever he lives in Phoenix to Paradise Valley, part of Phoenix where the people in the upper echelon bracket or tax bracket live, and he's gonna have to take that long drive down that long driveway to the front door and have a uncomfortable dinner with the billionaire.
Well, I told you that either one of those Cleveland coaches would probably go southward.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Phoenix was the spot to the desert.
Phoenix hires Jordan Ott, who began his coaching career at what Big Ten school? Michigan State.
Yeah.
He was a grad assistant and video coordinator for Michigan State. He was there at a similar time as Matt Ishbia, owner, newly minted, of
Yeah.
the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, billionaire.
Connections.
Yeah.
Connections.
See that tells you connections mean something. And that's a lesson. Let's just get into a lesson. That's something that I told myself as I was growing up. You never know who you're going to meet as you're climbing the mountain. There might be somebody had stumbled their way, just didn't have the strength to get up. What you did, how you handled them, dealt with them, spoke to them, smiled at them. You never know who you're going to cross on the way back down, or when you're there, who can take you to the pinnacle because of the, just that relationship. And it means so much. There's so many people, I'm sure, in high school that I had respect with, and sometimes you get to hear the stories. We don't always, Jay, get to hear the stories of the people that we had some form of an impact on in our younger days. Jay was a little bit meaner than me. I was really nice to, people. Jay was, he was like Tiny Debo, back in high school.
Nebraska nice and Minnesota nice are not the same thing.
No, they ain't. No, they ain't, man.
So,
That's a great, life lesson.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, they get mad at, like LeBron and Bronny, but it is. I mean, Strick said it. I'll say this. It's easier to get there. It's harder to stick. And Mike Singletary, when we were allowed to have our first job, I was a janitor at Gallup. Literally, we were moving desks and stuff like that, and he was speaking up there. And he was obviously one of my favorite players, him and Lawrence Taylor, because obviously Mike Singletary, and I was obviously a junior in college. And it's funny thing about it, he ended up coaching me for a year. But more importantly, he spoke to Gallup about, in life you'll go through, like a career bump, meaning if you get, obviously fired or something like that, you get injured. But he's like, really, if you have a good team around you and how you treat people when they're going through it will actually come back tenfold. And so, if you're on a downturn, you want people not to sit there and look at you when you're down there, or go around and talk about you when you're down there. You want somebody that's understanding that'll, bring you back up because they see the good in you. And generally it's all about like who you surround yourself with, because it's how you think. You don't have to be the guy that's the smartest in the room. You don't have to tell people that. And generally you probably aren't, because that's why you have, like, if you're a head coach of a football team, yeah, I might be a defensive coach, right? That's my, my specialty. But if I hired an offensive coordinator, he's got to be the expert, because if he's not,
why'd I hire him?
Right. And sure, I might know from a defensive perspective, offense, and I might know, but you don't have to be. You just got to be the best that you can be, surrounded by good people. And, for I getting, hired, one is people in those positions, billionaires, they want to hire people that they're familiar with. And it might not have been the main reason, but it was part of it. So he was able to go back and remember his work ethic when he was a video coordinator, then see how he ascended up to potentially getting hired as a head coach. And then you have a lot more background on him, and you can call Tom Izzo, who can give you, that's where you start. How was he? Was he late? What's the expectations? What do you think his offensive philosophy is? How much of it is it change? How much of the stuff that you taught him that he able to take with him to wherever he's at right now? And now he's a head coach of the Phoenix Suns, being able to coach at least two superstars. And that, Bradley. Right.
That was my next question. Is Devin Booker a superstar? Kevin Durant is.
I think he is but I don't know if he's top tier.
Is he a top 15 player in the NBA?
No.
Top 20? Top 25?
Maybe top 30, maybe.
Top 30? Stricky?
I think he's up there. Top, he's not as
top 26.
Yeah, he's not as I think it's unfortunate that he kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I think what hurt a lot of his prominence was his non-effectiveness in the series when he got hit with the dashing curse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. For
when he disappeared, I think they just, and it hasn't been able to, emerge back into that space. Others have kind of come up and kind of filled those gaps, and they've been stuck. They've been stuck in a rut, and then you're overshadowed by KD's presence, and then you got double jeopardy going on there, because you're overshadowed by KD's presence, his legacy being questioned, what he can and can't do, hasn't done since all those stories. Then you also got the Bradley Beal
contract.
You're dealing. So you're kind of stuck in the middle.
As many
all of
headlines.
that. You're just stuck in a cycle of news that goes around you and doesn't really see, the benefit. I do think he's a value player. I think he's a plug and play in, I would say, a good 75-80% of if not more, of organizations. I think you can plug him into any organization and he'll be fine.
Yeah, and he D's up more than people give him credit for.
I actually would say this, and I mean this. If you swap bloodline with him, I think Denver would even be better. Because I think he gives you a little bit. There you go. Yeah. There you go, Jay. That's where I'm going with my mindset. That's where I'm going with my mind. Just a little bit more consistency you would get.
Yeah. But they're both Kentucky guys, and he's a little bit more physical too than Bloodline. But I think he's a
hey, just those who's listening. When we say Bloodline, we talking about Jamal Murray, the twin lookalike of Mr. Jay Foreman. So there we go.
But it's in genes.
It's in the genes.
It's in the genes, man.
Devin Booker, to me, was done so incredibly dirty by Phoenix. They were so bad when they drafted him, and they didn't know what they had. And it makes me wonder if Phoenix knew that Devin Booker's best role was probably as a 2 on a really good team, but can be a 1 on a playoff team, which he's shown before he can be the 1 on a playoff team. Or if Phoenix had, made better front office and coaching decisions, would they have struck gold with that pick? I mean, Devin Booker was taken, 13th? Yeah, 13th overall in the 2015 draft. Not, a lottery pick, but just barely. I think Devin Booker could have been a top 15 player in the NBA with a better incubation system. I really do. What are the differences?
That's the curse
between Devin Booker and Spida Mitchell.
But that's the curse when you're in the lottery. It's no different than going number 1 in the draft. You ain't going to the Philadelphia Eagles number 1.
Right.
Unless somebody made some stupid trade again. So you're going to an organization that probably has instability at all 3 levels. And instability at ownership isn't financial. It's
erraticism.
It's functionality, right? Mm-hmm. Then you probably have instability at GM, and then obviously if you're getting drafted, the head coach ain't
in there long,
right? In there long, and it kind of depends if they just hired him like Odd or whatever. So that's where you have to. And then at an early, guys are going into the NBA at such an early age.
He was there at 19.
So I remember seeing him and meeting him in the Phoenix airport. I'll never forget this. I was down there on a layover, and he was there, and he was with his whole family, his mom, his sister, and all.
Yeah, and his dad, who I gave that work to. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
You ain't playing, but go ahead.
And he was, his dad was not there, and he was there, and he was so young. And so we were at a Starbucks, and I said, "Hey, man, I know who you are. I've watched you." It was like, good luck. And he's like, "You got any advice?" And I was like, "Understand, at your age, after 10 o'clock, it's not time for you to be anywhere." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I said, after 10 o'clock at your age and your lack of worldly experience, the worst human beings are walking around. Period.
Good point.
And he's like, "Man," he's like, I'll try to remember that. And his mom, his mom was like, "Thank you." And it was funny. He was traveling, and I don't know where he was coming or I think they were coming back for some vacation, because he was carrying around a blanket. Like his own. Like, bro, you just young. You're a young dude, man. But sometimes when you get drafted to those places like that, it's not losing just isn't on the players.
Another one of those situations for a guy that I think is a no doubt superstar, Paul Skeens. Taking the ball 13 times for the Pittsburgh Pirates, only allowed 19 earned runs, and the Pirates have lost 8 of his 13 starts. He's gone 8 innings, 1 run allowed his last 2 starts. Pirates have lost them both. Paul Skeens this year has pitched a league best, Major League Baseball best, 83.1 innings. His walks and hits per innings pitch is .876, which is top 3 in baseball, I believe, allowing fewer than 6 hits every 9 innings. And yet his record is just 4-6.
See, I think baseball is significantly different because when you're a pitcher and you're that good, you essentially control the game. It's like Randy Johnson back in the day with the Mariners. DP's Nationals had
Strasburg
into the arm injuries where he could be so dominant you just can't hit him. Now, it is apples to apples, straight up comparison, but baseball is a little bit different because great pitching beats good and great hitting almost every single time. It's just sad to say because when you're Paul Skeens, if I was his friend and he hasn't hit his second contract yet, right? And obviously there was a big article about your boy Cags, and just coming out after last night about the service, is that now you have to start thinking about yourself. You kind of get like what they do is they just run you into the ground as a rookie, and you don't know any better, right? You just got there just trying to prove, because you spend the whole rookie year trying to prove yourself or prove that you belong. That you're as good as you were in college or good as advertised. And then your second year, you want to validate it. We always talk about that. You make a birdie, you got to validate it with a par, right?
He's been even better in second year.
He's been even better in the second year. But then this is when your agent comes in. This is when you're, like, if you're have a significant other and people around you have to come in, because then you have to start thinking second contract first, legacy close second. Because now you're going to want to start to win. I mean, you see it all the time.
Yeah.
And whether you want,
even if you get your money.
Once you get, then you need.
Then now if you get your money, then now let's move.
It goes two ways. You want to get your money, then you want to start winning, or you win early in your career, and I got to get paid. That's why you see.
Because I helped you win.
Well, then you become more payable because everybody wants that sauce, and so for him, he just got to keep doing it. But baseball is like, hey, you pitch every fifth day. I'm here to do work, and then on their off day, they can't do anything else except for
sit, watch, and see what happens.
Sunflower seeds and card games, right? So
Stricky, did you ever pull off the hot foot trick in the dugout?
The hot foot?
Yeah, where you
put
got like tape and like some gum and strike a match and light it.
Put it on their heel.
Put on fire.
You never seen that? Yeah, that's when the guys are bored.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one. That's a new one for me.
I'm gonna tell you some of I don't mean to cut the worst locker room trick I saw what actually happened to your boy Dusty Renfro.
Big
Renfro. So when you practice, we still had the girdles where you put your thigh pad in or whatever. Dusty Renfro had to be Dusty. He only wanted to wear a jock strap, and then he wore his shorts and stuff. But he's like, there's 10 rookies, all doing the same thing, or 9 of them doing the same thing. The 10th isn't. Well, somehow, some way, I don't know how they. I wanted to ask my man Hojo how he did it, the old equipment manager up in Buffalo, how they did it, because when you're a rookie, you get like 5 minutes less to change than the vets, because they always hold you after meetings and you got to go. So literally it had to be when he went to the bathroom, and it wasn't numbered
just quick in and out.
Icy hot was in your boy's jock. Icy, it was this balm orange stuff. Did you guys have that trick?
Yeah.
And and once you get active, once you start getting sweat going, it
activates.
That thing was no joke, bro. When it got hot, it got
activated on Dusty Renfro.
Oh, man.
When I tell you he ran as fast as he could, faster than ever he did on kickoff, from the outdoor practice facility through the indoor in there. And Wade was cool. Wade was in on it. Because that's the type of reputation he had.
You think Wade asked that to get done?
No, they informed Wade. Because I think they saved. And no, Trick, I want your opinion. How you come in and handle yourself as a rookie will dictate your rookie treatment. Unless you're I think guys that really get off on hazing people or blowing up a rookie's credit card is more an indictment on the culture of the team.
Yeah.
But how you're treated as a rookie is how you act. And it's no different than the freshmen come in.
I agree.
And then NBA, right?
It's a lot different now than.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about when you're right. You got to carry bags. You got to do all the stupid stuff. If you buck at it, then you're gonna have popcorn or whatever it is in your car.
That's a fact,
right?
No, they did do that stuff. Yeah. So
it's tricky.
I kept I just hustled. I grind. I kept my mind. The vets.
Who do you know that got?
Airflow. I remember Fred Jones. They used to mess with him a lot.
What did they do to Fred? What was
shoot?
Was that packing peanuts? Was that
No,
Saran wrap.
it was really stuff. It wasn't like to that level. They would make you go and get stuff, and you didn't want to get caught going out to dinner with them because they'd make you pay the bill. Now they got the big budget, and you got the, but you kind of had to do that. Bring the bags to their room type thing. It wasn't crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more football was crazier than us in
Depends.
basketball.
It depends, man, on how you like when I went to Buffalo, it was a winning organization, and there was always rookies. We had to do this stuff, but Wade was like, look, man, I'm treating you like everybody like a grown man. You need to act like it. Now, if you was in there running your mouth, now you get taped up and you get thrown in the cold tank and all that stuff. But if you just did what you had to do, like I was blessed to have, it was a veteran winning organization in the locker room. It was professional, and you had to learn how to be a pro quick. That's the biggest transition. Sam Rogers and them, they was like, look, man, on when we do film review, this is the number you call. We want wings and pizza. And then he's like, this is what we want. And then I had another rookie, Keith Newman, so we would split, I do it one week and we'd split. And then on the games, Ted Cottrell was like, man, I want my fried chicken and I get first dibs. And so that was the most pressure I felt like I was under. Running down and knocking somebody's head off on kickoff, that was easy. I just didn't want to mess up the chicken, and I didn't want to miss the flight. But everybody worked with us because we rode over early with the athletic trainers on an earlier kind of smaller bus, so we could have it all set up. But I seen some guys go through some stuff, man. I'm telling you, I seen some guys go through some real times in some compromising positions based on how you acted as a rookie.
Yeah.
And even
does that follow you through your career?
There's two situations. One of my favorite people ever is Reggie Durden, who talked in the
Dirty
third.
Durden?
Yeah, he talked in the third person. Another guy, he ended up turning it around. One guy, I think when I met him in the Giants, I pulled him aside. I said, "Look, man, I'm in year 9. I said, listen, man, I'm just gonna give you. Yes, you got a ton of talent. I said, this is a first class organization. I said, they do things the Giant way and out here. I said, look, man, your off time can't come into the locker room. Like, you got to get it together. You bucking, you late to meetings. Okay, then you late to another. Then you cussing in meetings. You're gonna be out the league, bro." He lasted about a year or two. And he couldn't get picked up, and he was more talented as talented as my man Corey Webster, C. Webb, who ended up getting his second or third contract.
The perils.
There it is.
Keep the flappers under control.
You gotta know how to stick and move. I wasn't trying to sing that. I wasn't trying to sing no Nebraska fight song straight.
You wasn't trying to get it, my boy.
Man. They got me about 3 days left at training camp.
Oh, man.
Let's go ahead.
Did you know it?
No, I knew a little bit of it.
A little bit of it, yeah.
Could have hummed
I don't
it.
know
Maybe
it
that
either.
song will work.
Yeah, I was so bad. So bad at singing. They was like, man, get off the stage. That's how bad I was.
Oh, so they
like,
you
you
singing that helped you as far as
they
being
like,
able
you
to...
have no voice. Ruin their lunch.
Let's take our first break of the show. When we get back, a funny story out of California. A sprinter, 400 runner, had her gold medal stripped for her celebration. We'll tell you about it when we get back.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Play ball! Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Talking sports here during On the Block, weekdays 3 to 5 here on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Austin, Strick, and Jay with you for this time period. Fellas, I saw this out of the state of California. So Clara Adams, 16-year-old track runner in high school in California, won a gold medal in her event, the 400 meters, and then got her gold medal stripped, taken away from her for her celebration. Do you have any wild guesses for what it was she could have done to deserve getting her gold medal taken away?
California, probably what she do, like crip walk or something?
She did not crip walk. Stricky, You got guessed.
Twerk something?
She did not twerk something. She had someone provide her with a fire extinguisher and sprayed it on her feet after winning the race.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
And the federation
She's basically
said,
saying her feet, I'm hot.
the federation said that is unsportsmanlike. We're taking your gold medal.
Oh, that is idiotic. That's so California. It is. There's so many things that it's like, I don't know. Cali's gotten backwards to me. It's like they go hard, promote other stuff, and something so simple like that, they gonna go and make that an issue. That's crazy to me.
I think that's on a local high school federation because they got so many different
so many
federations out there as far as high school sports. It's just
other sports athletes have done that, Jay.
Taking yourself way too serious. Because in basketball, say you dunk on somebody and you tap your top of your head, then what?
Right.
They take the points away. It's unsportsmanlike.
I mean, it was the arrow. Now
The
you
mellow.
can understand the Ja Wick. You can understand, but Maurice Green did it.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
especially in track.
In track, I mean, they don't.
Track is
crazy.
that's a sport. You got to be flamboyant because it's literally one-on-one.
So
You
I
will
just
get
don't
some
understand why they took the medal from her. It happened after the race. Not like she did anything with it during the race. She wasn't, carrying it around with her and knocking her opponents off course or anything. She ran fastest for 400 meters.
One.
And then off the track, away from people, took the fire extinguisher to her feet for like 2 seconds. It wasn't even for that long. That to me is one that, should a high school kid be doing that? No, that's probably a step too far. Like, come on, win with a little bit of class. But come on, to strip the medal for something that happened well after the fact, that's got to be handled maybe by the school, but that's probably a home thing.
That's a
more than a school thing.
That's a bruh for me.
You can send that bill for that fire extinguisher because I think once you use a fire extinguisher, you can't use it again, can you?
I've never actually had to use one.
Well, I'm just
But they
assuming
have portable ones,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
sounds like it wasn't something that was
not like
from
she ripped it out
right,
the emergency thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it probably was pre-planned. That's something that you send that bill home to the parents, right?
You would think,
even if it was that, but sheesh. I mean,
I wouldn't take
I'm
the
so that's probably why I don't go to Cali as much as I used to. Even man, I even hate that my brother lives there now. Because I went there a couple times during the effects of the the thing that you put in your arm.
Husker Stu chimes in and says, I just watched the video. I think her dad gave her the extinguisher.
Even more.
Yeah, why don't you go to Pops? Probably didn't want to approach Pops with it.
Say, dude, come on. We're trying to teach lessons, learn lessons here. Congrats to your daughter. She won. She's a fantastic athlete.
Why would
now
you
the time
even
of
do
points?
But even still, okay, so here's why I say what I'm saying. Do people get upset because of sometimes the flamboyance of Usain Bolt? When he started doing the Thunderbolt thing.
Yeah.
Well, he pointed at the guy while he was still racing.
When he's
towards the finish line.
even Tobogo did that where he ran. He was like, Noah Lyles has his way. Like, okay, it's a way for them in a different way of what Dennis Rodman did for himself in basketball. There's things that you have to do to make yourself more promotable.
Promote it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And liven the sport up. Like me, I would not want to go to a high school track. It's 8 hours dang near of a day.
Yeah.
Sitting there in the hot sun. It's just a bunch of
waiting around to run.
And so I think that's pretty cool. It would have livened me up a little bit to see something like that. It's the same thing they try to do with football when they say you can't take your helmet off.
Take your helmet off, and now you got choreographed celebrations where you can have your team come in. I think it was a short-term decision that probably has long-term, obviously ramifications in a mistake. I think, first of all, stripping. I think the only time you strip somebody from the medal when they won fair and square is if they were, like using steroids or something like that, or did something to an opponent and essentially cheated to win. all the other stuff is like, couldn't you just have a conversation with them? You do that again, you're kicked out of the track meet, or you can't run in the next track meet, or whatever it could be. But you're going to take the medal?
To that extreme is wild. You can put everybody on notice. Oh, you can't do this, but to take the medal from somebody who had literally done the work,
earned it. But again, didn't create an advantage for herself by doing this.
Yeah, I think that's a more personal decision, and probably is backed
that's
up
a controlled.
Yep, through the district or whatever the bar. You know,
I think it was the CIF officially, California.
Yeah, I mean, I look. I probably deserved it when I was in high school when I got into a little trouble, but no one saw it. It was very internal. But somebody, they ended up losing their job, by the way. Somebody up top tried to make an example of me, and we end up losing a state tournament by 1 point because you wanted to try to move a power play on something that no one saw. It wasn't on camera. It was nothing nobody can challenge. But because you heard about it, now all of a sudden you wanted to try to bring yourself into a power, and it ended up.
Put yourself in the.
You see what I'm saying? That's what I think people sometimes in their own mind, same thing with referees.
Yeah,
referees used to do that. Enter themselves into the game. The game is not about you, my guy.
Yeah.
Or girl.
There's one referee who will be working his 18th NBA Finals this year.
Who's that? Your boy
The
Tony?
extender.
You know who it is. You know who it is. Scott Foster. It's gotta be. If he's in the game, it's going 6 games. It is going for the long haul if Scott Foster's around.
The NBA, that's why the NBA loves him.
Right.
More TV time.
He basically took over for
Joey.
Joey Crawford.
Joey, but the other one.
What's the dude with
Javi?
Oh, Steve Javi.
He took over for Javi. Javi was the one.
I think Javi's still on ESPN doing rules.
What's the brother? What's the brother that got
You
the
got something
eyebrows?
to say, Stricky. You got something to say. Come on.
No, I'm good.
You got something to say. I know you can spit it out. Spit it out.
But I couldn't. I can't even talk because of what you just said.
Steve Javi's like Ed Hockley
for football.
Yeah, he's a iconic. And then the Big Ten guy too.
Strick would choose a different word rather than iconic.
I'm sure.
Are you thinking Tony Brothers?
Tony Brothers, the one that's the one that Jeff Teague was going to knock out.
He's still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. You see him on there.
Bill Kennedy.
Yeah. Who's the guy who's the football ref that helps with on NFL and the Big Ten?
Gene Steratore.
Gene Steratore. Who's the other younger guy that remember he was
Oh, Dean Pereira?
No. The guy that got caught getting out of Jerry Jones's bus at the combine or something, but then he gave gave Dallas all the calls. I forget his name. Younger guy.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, Dean Blandino.
Yeah.
Dean Blandino.
Yeah, remember he got
right.
out. He was on Jerry Jones's.
Wow,
Yeah.
you got caught on the bus.
Then he was on TV.
That was like me getting caught on Luke's bus.
What was you doing?
Nothing.
Why would you
just
mention
watching?
You was just watching.
Just sitting there.
There for the company.
You was there for the scenery.
Just just the company,
just hanging out,
the
playing
friends,
cards,
you're
playing
playing
spades.
talk and dominoes.
I hear
you.
I think it was just a couple days ago in baseball history that we had the Armando Galarraga or Andres Galarraga perfect game with 28 outs. The Jim Joyce blew. You remember that?
Andres Galarraga, I thought he was a home run hitter.
Or Armando Galarraga, pitcher for the Tigers.
Oh.
Final out of the game, gets that rollover ground ball, and Jim Joyce, the first base umpire, says the guy beats it out, even though he's out by three quarters of a step.
Yeah.
And then he gets the next guy out, so we got 28 outs in a 27-inning game.
Some bull junk. Yeah.
I really want to know what you have to say about Steve Javi.
No, man, I can't.
Come on. You got a platform.
Javi, you just... So being a referee, I understand there's mindset you have to have you have to have, but some of them were straight Ralph Tresvants. They were, I mean, it was like, come on, bro. Now, the ones that I like, I love Dick Bavetta. Because Dick will talk to you. He might even say something slick to you, you know. he was fun. But boy, oh boy, a couple of them other ones, it's like, man, they was up there doing the dance. You need a man with sense. They was doing the whole routine.
Dick
Javi
Bavetta
was one
looks
of
like
them.
a guy that would give it back to you.
Dick
just
Bavetta
looks
was
like
fun, man. He was at least cool. You know, at least you could talk to Dick. And Dick would tell you, you know what, Stricky, I missed that one, man. I missed that one. Okay, I appreciate it. You can appreciate, but when they give you basically the, you know, like they treat me like Tina Turner, or, you know, stop in the name. Like before I even get to you, didn't even hear what I said, my guy. You didn't dang near Heisman me before I could get to you, get to tell you what I want to talk to you about. That's the stuff that irks me to the core. That stuff.
I'm sure you were trying to talk to a bunch of refs as a point guard, just like look out for my guys.
No, I was trying to get an advantage. You know, I was trying to get a charge, or trying to keep Allen Iverson from getting all the doggone calls, from bumping into me at 220 and he 150, 160 wet. I was just trying to work my magic.
Jay, how much were you talking to officials in the middle of the defense?
Well, because they had the ump
Yeah.
right there, so I talked to him almost every play. Like I always felt like,
did he get in the way?
No, I would always. That's what I said. I kind of butter him up, like, "Hey, I'm jumping here. You know, just be careful. You know, I'm gonna be, you know, or I'm gonna be. I got a lot going on today in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple times where we'd have to get like zone blitzes. You know, I'm dropping off 2 or 3, and if 3 not moving, then I got to get back. So you got to be heads up. But I'm gonna tell you, the one dude that got suspended. Well, both of the dudes, the 2 brothers that got suspended. The one dude, the play was going on, and I was cussing him. I was giving him the business as the play was going on. Because we played, I'll never forget, we were playing the Tennessee Titans with your boy Steve McNair. We weren't going to the playoffs, and you know what I mean.
You was in Houston or Buffalo?
Houston.
In Houston,
and they were. And he had missed a couple calls, man. He had like missed a bad holding call against Gary Walker.
and that's a rivalry too.
Yeah, it was intense.
For y'all.
It was for
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah.
You know, we trying to get in. You know, it's one of the last games of the season. And he was like, man, he looked at the one dude, looked at me. He's like, man, you need to stop talking and complaining, because I was the captain. So I was like, hey, man, my man said he getting held. Then finally, he's like, man, you need to stop talking. He's like, you ain't going to the playoffs. We ain't giving you no calls, no way.
Whoa.
He pretty much, he said so. He says he pretty
You
much.
trash.
He's
Wait
like,
a
he
minute.
pretty much like, y'all suck. Y'all like, he's like, y'all ain't good enough to get these calls. I was like, what? He's like, you heard me, right? So I'm looking at him. I was like, what? Then he said, you heard me. And then he moved up, played one. I was dropping, cussing at him, came back. I told Jamie Sharper, I said, hey man, get the call. I gotta have a conversation over here. I was like, dang, that hurt. Hey, that hit me. That hurt
Right,
hard.
just right in the heart.
Play my guts out.
Yeah, he's like, y'all sorry. He's like, y'all sorry this year. And then the other dude, he got into it with Gary, but no big deal.
Didn't everyone get into it with Gary though?
Gary was complaining though. Like, dang, Gary, you it's the 3rd play. You worried about holding already? We just getting.
Kubiak?
No, Gary Walker.
Oh,
Like,
Walker.
You ain't get held yet. You just ain't got your motor started. Get it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all used to. Now, they don't mic y'all because y'all really be going in, like,
man,
all across the line, back on the
tell you,
linebackers, on the outside. Y'all be talking a
I
lot.
said some stuff to dude, man, one time, man. Danny Smith up there, the special team coach of Buffalo, had me so hyped, man. I was like, I was on the edge since like Wednesday. He told me, he's like, you got him. He told me Monday, he's yours. So all week, that's all I thought about. I said some stuff to this dude and did stuff to this dude. He hit me right at the end of the game. He's like, man, you a good young linebacker. God bless you. That's exactly what I said. I was like, dang. I went right to church. I called my grandma.
Right.
I said, she's like, baby, what'd you do? I said, I went too far. She said, pray with me. I went and got my Bible. You know what it is.
Right.
I was like, please forgive me. Yeah.
I was doing
I went straight home. Straight home. Didn't pass go. Just
straight to it.
And then it was one of the last plays. And then he wanted to come, like he congratulated me after the game or whatever. I just went in there, head down.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, need a game of rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Wait. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That was delayed.
That was you see how he cheated?
Okay, we go again. I'll do on my countdown. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 shoot.
Yes.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, Stricky wins. Stricky, you playing today or tomorrow?
Today.
Stricky's playing today. Shoot out with Strick. Call now 402-464-5685.
I ain't picking up his
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, patchy fog possible this morning. Otherwise, partly sunny skies and light winds. The high around 77. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies and calm winds, low near 56. Tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies and a high near 74. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clark from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Play ball!
Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Father's Day is coming soon, and you know what that means. Backyard parties and lots of grilling. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning keep you ready all grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Gannett Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game!
We need a contestant. 402-464-5685. We are not giving Strick the easy way out. No, sir. Not happening, Captain. It is not referee trivia, so we're in the clear on that. Again, 402-464-5685. There we go. Right where I need to be. Don't forget, the new rules are that whoever is playing has a lifeline. So today, Jay Foreman will be your lifeline. Are you in a giving mood today, Jay? You going to help?
Yeah, always.
Okay. Nick's not there to cheat you, Stricky.
Oh.
That's the important part, right? Give you one guess where Nick is right now.
Tricky Nicky?
Tricky Nicky.
Golf course?
Yes, sir.
Somewhere.
Closing deals.
Oh, nice.
That's what he does.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. I love, I actually negotiated my first, well, not me, but we talked about it. It was with Don Nelson in California, right before I think I was about to leave after the summer league, because my agent had informed them that I'm going to play probably 3 games, and then I'm going to go to Denver to work out for them. And then, he gave me a number.
You did that on the golf
This is
course?
after I came back. Yeah, we did it on the golf course. So we played. I had to, kind of let him.
You had to let him win?
Let him win a little bit. And then my agent came and I jumped in rode off and let them talk.
Here it is. Old school.
Yeah. That's how it went down.
402-464-5685. We would very much like to play the shootout with Strick, if you'd like to call. Jack Caglione made his debut for the Royals last night. And Eric, I would tell you on our text line, it was a womp womp. 0 for 5. From number one prospect. Now, he hit 4 balls, I think, at 96 miles an hour or more. So he made good contact.
Yeah.
But 0 for 5. And the Royals scored 10 runs. First time since like mid-May.
Bobby Witt Jr. Benefited off of it, though.
There's no doubt.
He did.
There's no doubt.
He did. Big Bobby Witt Jr. guy here.
And Cags' exit speed, 2 of the hits were like
100 plus.
116 or something like that, right? I saw.
He had one at 112. I know that. And I think 109.
Yeah. I know it was the highest. So.
I think he has like the 4th and the 9th hardest balls hit by a Royals player this year.
That's all you want. You just want things to be, like you said, your analytics to be good, because they will find, if your analytics are good as far as your swing plane, dropping the head of the bat, staying back on the ball, making solid contact, it'll come.
It will. Gets a second crack tonight, 6:45, first pitch for the Royals against the Cardinals. Let's go to our Honda of Lincoln hotline. Let's bring in Jeremy. Jeremy, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing well. You ready for the shootout?
I guess. I just called because you guys said you needed somebody, so.
We did. Jeremy, hold on the line. We'll get Strick his 4 questions first, then we'll get to you. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. In the spirit of Jack Caglione's MLB debut, we are doing professional sports debuts. So, Stricky, your round of the shootout. Let you put your water down. Starts here in 3, 2, and 1. Which team did Randy Johnson make his MLB debut with? The Expos or the Mariners?
Expos.
Yep. Which team did Terrell Owens make his NFL debut with? The 49ers or the Eagles?
49ers.
Yep. Which team did Pascal Siakam make his NBA debut with? The Pistons or the Raptors?
Raptors.
Yep. And which team did Freddie Freeman make his MLB debut with?
Jay.
The Braves.
Jay says the Braves, and that wraps up a perfect round for the host in studio. A perfect round for Strick and Jay. All right, Jeremy. You got to be perfect to win it.
I don't know if I can do it, but I'll give it my
You
best.
gotta believe. It's not you don't know, you will.
All
Come on,
right.
J Dog. I got you. You just gotta get
All right, let's
3.
do
I'll
it.
take you to the promised land.
All right, Jay.
Jeremy, your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. Which team did Pedro Martinez make his MLB debut with? The Expos or the Dodgers?
Dodgers.
Yes. Which team did Brett Favre make his NFL debut with? The Packers or the Falcons?
Falcons.
Yep. Which team did Donovan Mitchell make his NBA debut with? The Jazz or the Grizzlies?
I'm going to go Grizzlies.
It's the Jazz. And which team did Mookie Betts make his MLB debut with?
What's that?
Mookie Betts. Who did he make his MLB debut with?
Oh, God dang it. I know this, but I can't remember. I'll just say Tampa Bay Rays.
It was the right division,
Red
but
Sox.
the wrong team. It was the Boston Red Sox.
You should have
Jeremy,
asked Jay
a
like me.
valiant effort. Thanks for playing. Try again soon, Jeremy.
Hey, yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Hey
Appreciate
man,
it, you
I'm gonna
too.
tell you this. I'm a big Pedro Martinez fan.
I thought it was
the
Expos too.
Expos.
I thought it was the Expos.
He
I ain't
pitched
gonna
for
lie.
2 years with the Dodgers.
I thought it was the
And
Expos.
then his brother wasn't his brother was with the Dodgers too, right?
Can't say another
It was
off
back
the
when I
head.
used to collect baseball cards.
Ramon Martinez.
Ramon.
Let's see.
Ramon.
Ramon.
Ramon. You got
yes, he
trill
was with
the
the
R,
Dodgers,
Jay. You didn't say that. Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon played with the Dodgers
It's
from
not
88 through
Ramon.
98.
It's Ramon.
Your boy can't roll his R's.
Who? You? I ain't trying to.
Ain't
What's up,
happening.
Raymond?
Ain't happening, Captain.
Not Raymond.
All right, so we are going to do texter number. Jay, give us a number 1 through 10.
6.
6. Okay, texter number 6. You
What?
ain't happy with it. Texter number 6 with the right answer, over, under, or push, will win the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Eric Strickland, the question for you: how many different MLB franchises did Pedro Martinez pitch for?
Cuatro.
Stricky says Quattro. We need over, under, or push 4 to 402-464-5685 for your chance to win $30 to Wings and Rings. We'll give you the answer. Get on with hour 2 of the show right after this.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Make plans to attend the Nebraska Whiskey Carnival this Saturday at Sideshow Spirits in Lincoln. This unique one-day festival highlights Nebraska distilleries, local vendors, and chill music. A general admission ticket gets you a custom tasting glass and free samples from the distillery booths. Food trucks will be on site to sell food and snacks, and cigars will be available for purchase. Get your tickets today at SideshowSpirits.com. It's the Whiskey Carnival this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. at Sideshow Spirits at 16th and P.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
That it is. Welcome back. Hour 2 of the show. Another hour for you here, then an hour of Old School Before Ticket weeknights. We got that $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings given away to Chad in Seward. The question was, how many different Major League Baseball franchises did Pedro Martinez pitch for? Stricky, you gave the answer of
5.
You gave the answer of
3.
You
4.
gave the 4. And the answer was 5. 5 different franchises for Pedro. The Dodgers, the Expos, his most well-known tenure with the Red Sox, then the Mets and the Phillies. So Chad in Seward, congrats on winning $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Fellas, we got some numbers from ESPN. Their Football Power Index came out. This is not Bill Connolly's SP+. This is ESPN's kind of proprietary rankings and formulas and whatnot. ESPN has Nebraska number 25 in the country coming into the year with an FPI rating of 9.3. Where do you guess that lands Nebraska in the Big Ten?
9.3 wins?
No, this is just their rating is 9.3. 25th in
right
the country.
in the middle, somewhere 7, 8.
I'd say about the same.
6th.
Damn.
FPI has Nebraska as the 6th best team in the Big Ten in 2025. Ohio State is number 4 in the country with a rating of 23.8. Penn State number 5 at 21.5. Oregon number 6 at 20.5.
Yeah, okay.
There's a big gap between Oregon and Michigan in 4th. According to FPI, Michigan's about 6 points lower at 14.6. USC is at a 13.0 rating on the nose. Then there's another bit of a gap between them and Nebraska at 9.3. Nebraska's neighborhood, essentially in the Big Ten.
Where's Illinois?
Illinois is down at a 5 FPI.
And they bring back a lot of players, though, right?
I have another article pulled up on that. I'll get to that in just a second. But within 1 point of Nebraska is Washington at 8.8, number 27 in the country, and Indiana at 8.3, number 31 in the country. That's your top half of the Big Ten, according to Football Power Index.
Mad as heck right now.
Did them up.
Indeed.
And I like the top 4. The one I don't like is USC. What would make them think that USC is higher than anybody below them?
I don't know, because USC returns just 46% of its
Well, they
production
lost-
from
they-
last
they
year.
lost it-
50% on offense, 43 on defense. To
They
answer
lost to two brothers.
Yep.
And
The Branches.
Branches, and they were pretty much single-handedly beat Nebraska. And then you lose Marks, the running back, who was a second. And now the quarterback, I think it was
Mayava.
the first time, it starts, so you didn't know how to game plan for him. Maybe it's the Lincoln Riley. I know they did well in the transfer portal. I know they've had recruiting classes. I know they've gotten bigger, over the years as far as being more physical. I mean, and I guess I look at it, Nebraska's, if you're number 6 in the Big Ten, it probably correlates to where you are initially ranked nationally. But I think if you take USC, Nebraska, I'm so on Washington. I want to see how Jed Fish does this year. I'm a believer in Jed Fish. I'm not sure if he has the mix of players that he needs. I love his staff and him. I think he needs another year. And then Illinois would be the assumptive or assume that they would sneak you. They won 10 games on the sneak. So you would think that they would be higher. And then you would, Indiana probably would say the same thing.
So according to ESPN's, again, kind of internal metrics here, Illinois brings back the 3rd most production of any team in the country. 78% of its offensive production and 75% of its defensive production.
They got 2 good running backs. I know they one big old dude, and then they only
one good receiver,
and then tight ends coming back, and then they lost Paul Bryant, but the other guy's back. Defense is, but that lets you know that that people are believing in Nebraska though.
Well, here's a question though, right? Like, what has happened, or what can happen, or why is it happening with Wisconsin kind of falling off? Because they used to be kind of a stable Big Ten program, probably up in that top tier level. And then what happened with Michigan State that's fallen so far down? You've been around with those programs when they've been
Michigan
at their
State,
top. Like tell me what's your
State,
thoughts on what you're saying?
Mel Tucker had them that one kind of what they might be thinking, like Signetti is the same thing. Came in,
flash in the pan.
Flash in the pan.
Just stay off the bad Zoom meetings.
Right. And I think, I think Mel Tucker's really hurt Michigan State because I think they had a good culture and identity going. The problem
after D'Antonio.
So it's kind of like you kind of had the tough guy image. We've always been
Blue
overlooked.
collar overlooked.
We're developing kids, and we're going to keep kids a year or two longer, and they're ended up going to be better than Michigan. Well, off the field stuff hurt that. So then they had to hire a new coach, who I think Smith is a good coach. He has to kind of revamp it. That's going to be the surprise. I'm telling you, he played a lot of teams close. So I still think they're on the uptick. The biggest problem for the Big Ten right now, and obviously let's say everything holds true, Nebraska wins 8 or more games. They should win, I'd say 10. But
according to FPI, Nebraska is
7.5.
projected for 7.5.
I'm saying 8+. You should be winning 8, 9, 10 games. But let's just say Nebraska wins 8, so they hold true. Illinois holds true 8, 7 or 8, 7 to 9. The biggest problem for the Big Ten that's hurting the Big Ten now, it used to be Nebraska, right? Now, let's just say everything is Wisconsin. They lost their identity, okay? Is line them up, knock you out but on both sides of the ball. Because one thing you expected Luke Fickell to be able to do is batten down the hatches defensively. A lot of holes. They lost their best player, Warler, who I felt like Warler. They lost the cornerback who they tried to block from transferring to Miami, and he was a lockdown corner. They don't have really any pass rushers, and they no longer run the football, or at least didn't last year. I think the quarterback they got in the transfer portal, I thought Van Dyke was good until he got hurt. This is a transition year or a big year for Fickell and Wisconsin.
Austin, I'm going to throw one at you. Now that we've got a chance to assess what's going on, we understood why this particular person bounced. They've got plenty of money. And when you look down into California, the California cesspool, that
you hating you
I just don't like California right now. But anyway,
But you in
when you
Nebraska.
look down at California and you find Lincoln Riley. They've had money. They continuously getting the benefit of the doubt of history right now. do they live up to the hype? Do they bounce back? Or do we continue to see mediocrity? I still want to hear from you, but I definitely want to hear from us.
USC schedule: Missouri State, Georgia Southern, Purdue, Michigan State, at Illinois, host Michigan, at Notre Dame, at Nebraska, host Northwestern, host Iowa, at Oregon, host UCLA.
He done.
Done, Deezy?
He done. He overcooked like that brisket he put on Thanksgiving.
Not the burnt brisket where it just tastes real ashy.
He done.
It was rubbery. It had to be. It was not good. Yeah, no, I think it's hard to want to bet against USC, but it's probably the smart move right now. I mean, they're picked to win 8.5 games right now, according to the FPI numbers. But Michigan, is it pretty much the exact same? Who would you think wins more games, USC or Michigan this year? Michigan would do the exact same thing they did last year to go 8-4. Is what they would be. They get New Mexico, Oklahoma, Central Michigan, Nebraska, Wisconsin, at USC.
They got to come to Nebraska, right?
Yep. At Michigan State, host Purdue. At Northwestern, Maryland, host Ohio State.
Nebraska's got both them at home. Boy, they got to take advantage of those.
Michigan got an easy schedule.
Does the turmoil affect them any?
They've been in turmoil.
Because I don't think Sharon can even coach at the game against us.
He chose not to. They've been in turmoil for like 10 years. This is how they operate. Smooth sailing, they was losing when they wasn't doing nothing.
So
wrong.
they like those around the world boats that be leaning.
Yeah,
and they be wanting to look like they're gonna fall, but they just still be
leaning off. Yeah, they want that. Yeah, they want to go in the tropical storm to go. You know that big.
They want to go straight through the storm.
Batten down the hatches.
Yeah, batten down the hatches and put it in fifth gear.
Like in that movie, what was that movie, The Perfect Storm?
Yeah,
when they saw that big old thing? They want to go up and over it, not away from it.
And like Point Break, where the dude is over there, he's like, I got to surf that big old thing in Australia. Yeah, okay, you dead.
Oh man, hilarious.
But here's the thing about USC. At the beginning of the year, I was like, oh, I can see them. I mean, they look good. Then it changed. And so I think whether Lincoln, and it's funny because Lincoln Riley ran the ball towards the end of the season way more effectively than he ever did pretty much in his whole USC coaching career. And he had an NFL running back, but he's gone now. And we saw him up close and personal. It comes down to, it's not talent. It's not even the benefit of the doubt. Do you trust Lincoln Riley to do what he needs to do to win the Big Ten?
Because he's not going to win the Big Ten.
No, to win in the Big Ten.
In the Big Ten, maybe. But win the Big Ten, no.
No, I'm not. No, I said win in the Big Ten to the point to where you actually live up to those expectations. That's why I would pick Michigan over USC, because I seen Sharon Moore and then make chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what last year. And then they doubled down on it in the bowl game against Alabama. That was way more talented. So that lets me know there is some culture and there is some toughness there. Whereas like Lincoln Riley, heck, they played Michigan tough there at Michigan. But do you think that for 12 games, do you think he's gonna use the first 3 games? Like, all right, we got to get ready for the Big Ten. We're gonna really focus on the running attack. He's throwing that thing he's throwing it all over the place. Come November, he's gonna get a Nebraska day. Watch when he come here. They're gonna be bundled up in beanie hats, and everybody in Nebraska gonna be out with no sleeves on. Hopefully, that's why I don't trust him.
Yeah.
So, in that neighborhood, Michigan has the highest rating, but they're picked to win 8.5 games. Every team within a win and a half of them is Michigan, USC, Nebraska, Washington, Indiana.
Where's Northwestern?
Northwestern is second to last, projected for 4 wins.
See,
Purdue dead last, projected for 3.
Once. I did that once. I picked them to go 0 for 12. And they won 8-9 games.
Fitzgerald got fired. They beat Utah in the bowl game.
Wow.
Never again.
Never again.
You never bet for James Franklin in a big game. Okay, because he lost me way too much money. Part of the reason I got all this gray hair. And you never bet against Northwestern when they're supposed to be down.
Who wins the most games this year out of Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota? They're all projected for 6.5 to 7 wins by FPI.
Dang.
Well, who? Wisconsin?
Iowa, Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's a
they
tough
all
one.
winning. They all win in 7 games.
Any of them get to 8.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you believe in Kurt Ferentz?
No. No.
Do you?
What do you mean by believe in? I believe he has a formula that gets him to.
It gets
8
him to
wins.
win wins. Yeah. So that part.
So do you? Okay. If you had to bet your bottom dollar, Kurt Ferentz wins 7 games. Yes or no?
Yeah, I think he can get it done. I just think their defense
You took
seems
too
to
long. You
always
said
find
no.
a way.
Yes.
Okay.
They,
Okay. No, you took too long. It's no.
So they go to Iowa State. They go to Rutgers.
Hey, that's the clip. He said, yeah, that's it.
Indiana at Wisconsin, host Penn State, Minnesota, and Oregon. Go to USC, host Michigan State, go to Nebraska.
Iowa. That is Iowa?
That's Iowa.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this right now. If Kurt Ferentz don't win 7 games, I guarantee they fire.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Oh, they've been looking.
They find a way.
This is the verification. See, your formula is what is not working anymore.
Somebody
what about Mr. Tight Pants? PJ Fleck.
PJ Fleck.
Do you think he can win 7 games?
No.
Minnesota's schedule this year: Buffalo, Northwestern State at Cal, host Rutgers, go to Ohio State, host Purdue, host Nebraska, at Iowa, host Michigan State, go to Oregon, go to Northwestern, host Wisconsin.
Dang, he got a chance to actually get there. No, he does.
He's going to be hinging on that.
It's going to be. It's going to depend on how he does in that game against Cal. Even though
Cal
Cal's
lost
not
his quarterback.
Even though they're
Indiana.
not, but
And the
if they get beat by Cal, then trouble. But on the text line for Jay and you, not text line, but on the stream. Shout out to Bada Bing.
Hey, Bada Bing.
He says, "Will Nebraska have a 1,000-yard receiver?" What say you guys? It's been a minute. What the last one was who?
Stanley got it, didn't he? Or JD?
No, the last
Trey?
1,000 Trey, right? Palmer wasn't
Oh,
he?
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Trey
was the last
Iowa,
one.
Yeah.
That was it.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
he had what 200. He
Well, he
worked.
toasted the guy that took over after that slot guy.
No, he toasted Riley Moss, and then he toasted Cooper DeJean, didn't he?
Who was it? Wasn't one of Iowa's slot guys that got hit in the knee, and then he went after the replacement for his second one?
Yeah, he was going on.
He went nuts.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's Dane Key. I don't think that's a 1,000-yard guy.
Does Nebraska need 1,000-yard? Okay, let me ask this: Do they need what's more? I think they need 1,000-yard rusher before they need 1,000-yard receiver.
I like that
because I think they have too many guys that they got to get the ball to have one guy that's going to be.
I think they need to spread it out. I think he needs to spread it out, and I think this year needs to be the year that Dylan Raiola steps up, and he can't be continuously making the mistakes that he's made that cost him. And I think his aura has to be good, and his body language. It has to be really good this year. I want to see that type of growth.
Yeah.
And I think spreading around is where it starts. I think he's holding the ball a little bit too long. We gave him a lot of leeway with line play, but I don't think that's the case this time. I think he's got to make a difference.
I think they have a lot more guys, and you got to think Barney's a year older, right?
Corey, yeah.
Corey. Then you got 2 new receivers in Hunter and Dane Key, veterans, which is kind of like they had the same type of same
thing last year,
but maybe a little bit more explosive. Now I think they lost a little bit at tight end, but I think Emmett being inserted into the starting role and the bell cow role gives them that emergency kind of thing. And then you'll see what they do with Bonner. And then you got those freshmen, whether it's Mims and young man from Kansas City, they're gonna come in and put in some work. I mean, so right there, and then you got to think you got hiring, H2O hiring Harburg, and then if everybody else that if Nelson is healthy and everybody like that, and then you got Lindenmeyer, who I think is a quiet as kept, is a legit tight end. So I just named 7 guys.
I
there
think he gets more credit.
Once you put all those guys in there, I would assume it's gonna be harder to have a 1,000-yard receiver. Now you need to have a guy that you go to under pressure.
Third down.
But more importantly, if you get, let's just say maybe not 1,000-yard rusher, 850, 900 or more. Because ideally, you'd like to see somebody else step up as the number 2. Now, whether it's early, late, or middle, or obviously early, 850, 900, and where you can line up and punch somebody in the face. Because that's how you're gonna win.
And hopefully at 5 yards a pop.
I would like that. At least 4.7, 4.8, something above 4.5.
4.5, yeah.
I definitely hate to say this, but I'm glad McGuire's gone. The receiver coach. Is it McGuire? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see the growth. I couldn't see the respect. I'm hoping that the new receivers coach is able to get them.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna. Well,
get them
they're
cracking.
gonna respect him because number one, he's a former player. He's coached
under Dana.
And he's played at the next level. But then also he's coached a lot of guys that are at the next level.
That's what I'm saying. So, that's where I want to see the growth.
Yeah. So they gotta, I mean, everything's gonna depend on the line, on both lines. But ideally, I think if you could get, like Emmett, and he's at 4.5 a pop, not in a real 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
When it's down and you got to close the game out against like Iowa, or Minnesota, or something, that we just we two tight ends, we got a wing or whatever.
Yeah,
Mash
City.
Yeah, in different ways.
Take you to Pound Town. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
there's that pause from Eric from the start of the show. Neil says they have a good room with receivers. No need for a 1,000-yard guy. His prediction for 3 guys over 700 is Ja'Cory Barney, Dane Key, and Cortez Mills.
Huh.
I like him.
They'd like to put a what is it called? Put a what is the wager on
the futures?
Yeah, whatever put a. We should have a gift card for whoever. We'll see.
Yeah, I would say I think I agree with Jay in that it's probably more important for Nebraska to have that 1,000-yard rusher. I just don't see one on the roster. I like Emmett. I don't love Emmett.
I think he runs. I think he runs hard.
I like Emmett. I really do.
I like it.
Emmett will have 1,200 all purpose, but I don't know if he's a 1,000 rusher.
Yeah, that's why I said 900. 850, 900. You're gonna have to line up and tote it. Now if he can be very effective, he's shown the ability to run through the tackles, like in between the tackles. The big question for him isn't like a talent and has he been productive? It's like, can you do it now that you the dude? And that's a natural question, and that there's nothing wrong with that question because it's no different than Strick when you had a couple starts. Now, can you be the dude at the beginning of the season to start? Everybody's been there. And it's a part of your career is no different than, saying, have the question, can Dylan back up what he did last year? Can you validate what everybody thinks and hopes that you are? That's all they're asking for, validation. So he can do it. Now, everything has to go to it. Part of being able to run for 1,000 yards is that you got to be really good on defense as far as stopping the run and third down. Because the more
getting the ball back to your offense.
Right. The more opportunities that you get allows them to continue to stick to the game plan.
Yeah.
This is a good spot to pause that conversation. Lots of Husker football to get to here throughout the summer. We're going to wrap up Husker baseball, though, with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. We'll put a bow on a season that ended in the Chapel Hill Regional right after this.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Father's Day is coming soon, and you know what that means. Backyard parties and lots of grilling. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? A dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning keep you ready all grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so your grill can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Is it time to replace your home comfort system? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing for a free estimate. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all of your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. We live in the land of the free thanks to the brave.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're here during On the Block at 4:30 on Wednesday, which means we're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Lots to wrap up in terms of Husker baseball. Let's go ahead and bring him in on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Evan, happy 4:30 on a Wednesday. How are you?
Hey, happy, midweek day. How's it going?
It is going. It is not going, though, for Husker baseball. Their season comes to an end. Final record of 33-29. They made an appearance in the Chapel Hill Regional, a brief one. I think just big picture, Evan, the 1-2 record for Nebraska at the regional is kind of what this program has done over the last handful of appearances outside of the one in Fayetteville, of course, where they push Arkansas to that final game of the regional. Overall, what did you see from Nebraska in the regional? What carried over from the Big Ten tournament? And what maybe abandoned the Huskers from that in Chapel Hill?
Well, I think the momentum, maybe not all of it made it on the carry-on from Omaha out there to Chapel Hill. I think especially offensively, like that, the Omaha week was probably their best offensive showing of the year, I would say. I mean, they had kind of a mix of power and the small game with the bunting and pushing the envelope on the base paths. That didn't necessarily translate over to Chapel Hill, and Oklahoma had something to do with that. They had a couple of good pitchers and a lot of mid to upper 90s velocity that didn't necessarily translate. Probably the best thing that did translate was Ty Horn. I mean, I think he had his best 2 starts as a Husker in his last 2. Of course, what he did against UCLA in the title game for the conference title, and then holding down Holy Cross for the win that they got there. So, I mean, yeah, ultimately I think the regional performance was pretty much, like you said, on par with what they've done in the past. They tend to win a game against lower seeds, and they did that again against Holy Cross, but it does leave you wanting more a little bit. A very similar sort of finish to what they did in the Stillwater Regional last year, when you at that time also in Florida faced a sort of an underseeded SEC team that flexed its ability to hit the ball in an elimination game. That's kind of what it came down to. So I guess you lose 17-1 in the final. I think it's a stark reminder that your goal this offseason through player acquisition and then development has got to be, you got to continue to find depth of arms, and maybe even a little bit more importantly, you need to find some impact bats, because we saw, again, Oklahoma had a bunch of them, guys spraying line drives all over the field. Nebraska needs more of those guys if they want to be able to contend at a level beyond regional weekend.
Let's start on the mound. You mentioned Ty Horn. His season numbers at the end of the day are fine. I mean, ERA under 5, 4-4 record, 18 games, 17 starts. Struck out 76 batters, the most of any Husker on the year. So maybe the overall numbers don't look great, but what did you see from Ty Horn down the stretch that maybe, leads to some optimism for Husker baseball and in his future?
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of the ultimate example of trial by fire this year. Like, you think about some of the starts that he made. I mean, he had the LSU start. I believe he had the Vanderbilt start. Some of the other tough opponents that Nebraska faced. Like, he was the guy who was out there, and early on, he got hit around a decent amount. And you got into April, and I think he didn't get his first win of the season until April. Didn't go 5 innings for maybe the second or third time until April. So they stuck with him. They saw something more was in there, even if it wasn't evident on the field early on. But to Horn's credit, and I think Nebraska's credit, they continue to put him out there, and he got better in May, certainly down the stretch. Like I mentioned, the UCLA game was, I mean, a masterpiece. 8 shutout innings against a team that's currently in the super regionals, and then follow that up with another long start that at least gave Nebraska a chance to play 2 on Sunday and maybe be in the mix for that regional. So, he was a guy who was a high-end prospect out of high school, out of the Topeka, Kansas area, just a sophomore. So you figure he's maybe him and Tucker Timmerman would be the guys that you would start the Nebraska Friday starter conversation with next year. Is probably going to be Horn. I think he showed them enough this spring to be that guy. So ended up being a guy who I think probably took as big a strides as any individual on the team this year. Was a part of the late run they made pretty clearly, and I think he'll be an even bigger piece in 2026.
The other piece that should come back for Nebraska in 26 is Mason McConaughey, right? Suffered the arm injury early in the year. What's your confidence level that either one of those two guys can, I mean, they're both solid pitchers, right? Don't get me wrong, but we've seen in regionals, maybe Nebraska doesn't have the dude to go to necessarily as the no doubt ace. I mean, I know they had Brett Sears down in Stillwater, but what's your confidence level? Would you project that McConaughey or Horn could be one of those legitimate difference makers that, can even, overpower some SEC hitters in a regional next year?
Yeah, I mean, McConaughey had swing and miss stuff last year, showed it a little bit before this year. So, I mean, first of all, like the conversation with him in this next month is going to be, what does he want to do next year? I think there's still very much a possibility that he gets either drafted or has the opportunity to sign professionally somewhere and continue to recover and take that next step somewhere else. I think if you're like a pro scout, McConaughey did a year ago, and you say, hey, maybe we can get a guy like that a few rounds later. Maybe he's a little bit more willing to move, and they can get some slot value on him or something like that. Of course, it's also possible he says, yeah, I'm gonna come back, and it sounds like with his recovery timetable, he probably join the team, in March sometime, early to mid-March maybe. It's kind of would be the time he would return if his timetable is kind of standard for Tommy John. So that's kind of the first step. And then, if he does stay, there'll probably be a ramp-up process. So I don't know that, barring a big kind of quicker timetable than you expect, I don't know that you can expect a full season from him the way that you'd like to. So I think he's a big wild card. Nebraska would love to have him back, but whether he is back and then just how quickly he can be effective is going to be some of the big early questions of next year.
Is he in that same kind of boat for Nebraska baseball that maybe the men's basketball team was with Rink Mass? Is that an accurate cross-sport comparison, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, yeah, Mass kind of was there. I don't know that there was ever any inkling that he was going to go pro. Maybe there was a little bit more. But I think, McConaughey, he's from the Kansas area as well, and somebody who maybe wants to stick around. I think part of it is like college baseball 10 years ago. Maybe he does move on because you got to get while the getting's good. But the way that Nebraska treats people now, the way the facilities are in college baseball, it's harder to get drafted, right? It's 20 rounds instead of 40. So some of those opportunities aren't quite there as much. It does seem like colleges, in a lot of ways, just the medical setup, the nutrition, the weight strength training setup is in some cases better than what you would get at like a single A team kind of thing. So these are all things he'll have to weigh and figure out. And ultimately, if a team's saying, hey, we'll take you in the 17th or 18th round, he'll have to decide, hey, if I come back to Nebraska and do what I did a year ago, how much better can my draft stock be? So if it were me, I feel like he could probably come back and really improve his stock. But that's something he'll have to kind of make on that decision here in the next month or so.
We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Let's talk about the offense then, Evan. You mentioned it kind of got left maybe on the tarmac as Nebraska made the trip out to Chapel Hill. One of the big things coming in from last year was the carryover from the lineup from year to year. At least you thought that's how the year would go. Nebraska worked in, quite a few new pieces throughout the year. In terms of lineup continuity, how much can Nebraska potentially have back from this year's lineup to last year if it's looking to take a step forward with the same guys?
Well, again, you kind of have this situation where you're going to have to hear back from some of these guys because of that junior college eligibility ruling last winter. You got a handful of seniors that could come back in theory. I mean, Riley Silva could come back. Joshua Overbeek, same deal. Rhett Stokes could come back. Ty Stone. Those were all starters down the stretch for Nebraska. So they kind of have to decide if they want to go through it another year. Nebraska has to decide what their roster situation is. We still don't know what the rules necessarily are in terms of roster limits for next year because the House settlement hasn't been finalized. I think people are expecting it to go from 40 to 34, but we'll see how that shakes out. So you start with that. Dylan Carey, technically could move on. I think he probably feels like he has more to prove at short, and you're going to lose Hogan Haligso at catcher, so you'll have to make a decision on who your next guy is going to be there. Gabe Swanson's gone. Robbie Bolin probably is coming back, I would guess. So again, you're set up to have kind of an older lineup if you want to do that. Maybe those guys say, hey, it's been a fun 4 years in college and move on, and Nebraska does reset further. But you look at some of the top offenses in the country, they tend to be older, even more so now, again, because the draft is shorter and because players are staying in college longer and have more financial opportunities. So I think you want to find a way to stay older. I think the question for Nebraska's offense needs to be, what do you want to be? Because they didn't know for a lot of the year, Austin. Like the first half of the year, they kind of thought they could be a slugging group. And then they go to the West Coast and they say, maybe we need to incorporate some more small ball and speed. And so they do that. And so they kind of bounce back and forth between a few things. I do think you look, again, like the super regionals this weekend, you see a lot of teams that can generate some instant offense in addition to maybe manufacturing runs. And power was not a strength for Nebraska this year. It hasn't really been a strength for them under Will Bolt outside of that 23 team with Max Anderson and Bryce Matthews. So I think it's the identity piece. It's who can you maybe land or lure out of the portal. And then you just got to continue to recruit hard. Like, it's hard to find those kind of impact bats, but I think that's what you need if you're Nebraska to, again, take that next step and contend in a regional and possibly move on from there.
How important is the continued development of Devin Nunez and Case Sanderson, assuming Nebraska is able to keep both of them, in developing into those top or middle of the order bats for next year?
They're both good hitters. I wonder what their power ceiling is. I mean, Case Sanderson's one of the top on base percentage guys on the team, very selective, right up there with Caden Brumbaugh. Nunez had his moments, right? I mean, he was kind of the straw that stirred the drink for the lineup early in the year, and then you didn't see him for about a month very often, and then he came on late again. So I think those guys can be serviceable in the lineup. They can be key contributors. I just, again, like you're talking about who can pop a 2-run homer kind of out of nowhere, as opposed to maybe needing to set up a rally where your two guys walk and you string together some singles. Like, that's kind of the difference in what they're trying to do. So I think those are solid players. They're going to continue to develop and get better. And if they can add that power element to their game, I mean, that's when you're really taking that next step. But I wonder how many bats on the Nebraska roster right now are the kind that can stack up again with sort of the slugging approach that you're seeing with teams that typically make it this far in the tournament.
Max Butenbach in that conversation? You got me, Evan?
Oh, I'm here. Yep.
Sorry, yep. Is Max Butenbach in that power bat conversation? I mean, he popped 7 homers this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think he could be. And he did 7 with, missing multiple weeks with an illness, and he was out for early portions of the season when his bat cooled off a little bit. But you saw what he did in the Northwoods last year. I mean, he just ran roughshod over that league. And so I imagine he'll go somewhere and stack a bunch of games and at bats again this summer and come back probably all the more ready to roll. Like, he'll have a bigger role next year for sure. You have a power left-handed bat like that, like that's pretty valuable in the college game. So yeah, I'd put him in that group too, as someone who's an athlete and physical, and another year of just playing the game and getting stronger can only serve him better as he becomes a more central piece for what Nebraska wants next year.
So then, Evan, as we look more big picture at wrapping up 2025, when you look at this Nebraska baseball team this year, was it a successful season? Was it successful enough? Was it, slightly disappointing? How would you overall grade just the tenor of the season as you look back at it now?
It's a great question, because however you feel about Nebraska baseball, you can take from this season. Like, if you feel good about the team, you can say, hey, they won the Big Ten tournament title again, and that was very impressive. And they were 6-2 against ranked opponents, and they lost 2 weekends in the second half of the season total. I mean, all that's really impressive. But I think you can also look at it and say, this program maybe should have been in the spot where it didn't need to win the Big Ten to make the postseason. And you see what happened in the regional, and you just kind of feel like, man, it's been 20 years since they've been to a super. And the talent disparity, even with a team like Oklahoma, which is right now a middle of the pack SEC school, like it was on display. So I think you can be, satisfied with what happened in terms of what they were able to do. They beat Oregon State and Vanderbilt and some of these teams while pushing through with injuries to McConaughey and Timmerman and their offensive players at times. But I think you can also say, yeah, there's clearly another step to be taken here. And it's such an interesting conversation right now because, again, we're in this time where revenue sharing is about to enter college athletics, and schools need to articulate on a spreadsheet how much are we investing in each of these sports. And I think Nebraska baseball's ceiling right now is probably fourth behind football, men's basketball, and volleyball, and it might be below that. I mean, it might be below women's basketball, and right there with softball. So it's such a fascinating time to see how much Nebraska feels like it can invest in that sport, how deep or how high it can go when you're facing these SEC schools that are putting a ton into it. So I think it was successful in the sense that now there's some continuity, 2 seasons in a row in the NCAA tournament. But I think it's also a pretty clear message that there's another step to take, and we'll see if Nebraska is willing and able to do it.
I really like that framing. It's why we love to have you on here, Evan. And I want to bring this last thing your way. Someone retweeted your final score tweet about the Oklahoma-Nebraska game. And their first comment was, back-to-back Big Ten titles in football and men's basketball gets you extensions, raises, facilities, etc. Back-to-back Big Ten titles in baseball has the fan base calling for your job. And I'll start this off by saying, I hope they're not calling for Will Bolt's job. I think he's earned another year back-to-back NCAA tournaments. Surely isn't nothing, right? That has to count for something. Nebraska's been better than it has been bad in Will Bolt's tenure. So I don't think it'd be calling for the job is necessarily the right move. But then this person goes on to say, Coach Bolt's done an unbelievable job and needs the resources the other sports receive to make the jump. And that's where I might quibble a little bit, because I don't think baseball will ever get that level of funding, but it also shouldn't take that level of funding to have a better regular season in the Big Ten. I don't know if you know the numbers, if you can share them or what, but I would guess Nebraska invests more in its baseball program than a lot of other teams in the league. And that's where I think I come at this season from the outside looking in that it's great that Nebraska made it to the NCAA tournament. You credit them for the late season run that they went on, like you mentioned. But I also think with what Nebraska invests, it shouldn't slip to 8th in the Big Ten very often. It shouldn't have taken a miracle run in Omaha to get to the Big Ten tournament even though maybe Nebraska is not investing at an SEC, ACC, Big 12 level. My gut tells me that Nebraska invests more in baseball than other Big Ten schools and probably shouldn't be in a spot where it's cutting it this close to even making the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's absolutely fair. I mean, you can go through the Big Ten, and I think it's somewhat evident, like the teams that are caring about the sport and the teams that maybe don't as much. The West Coast teams that are now in the league care about the sport. Michigan, I think, cares about the sport. Indiana, Illinois care about the sport. Nebraska definitely does. I think my sense is, yeah, they probably spend on par with the top of the Big Ten in recruiting and in investing in players and things like that. And for a place like Nebraska, it's probably not going to be much in terms of rev share. It's going to be more NIL, and it's also going to be how much are you going to fund in terms of scholarship? Because you got to remember, college baseball was 11.7 scholarships forever. Now you're in a world where you could fund up to the entirety of the team if you want. If it's 34 man roster next year, you can fund 34 scholarships. Not very many places are going to do that. So where does Nebraska fall in that compared to its peers? Is it my hunch is it's going to be somewhere in the 20 to 25 range, maybe on the lower end of that. But again, like it's all about where you feel like you can contend. I think the talent in the state is good. I think Nebraska, we've talked about this. It's like it's an underrated state in terms of the baseball talent that does come out. And if they can continue to get a lot of that talent, if they can continue to show that they can be contenders in the league and get into the NCAA tournament, like that's going to draw some attention. I think the facilities, the nutrition setup, which is for all student athletes there, is attractive. Haymarket Park is attractive. There's still a program that's top 15 nationally every year in attendance. And so that makes a difference. So there are a lot of things going positively for Nebraska, but again, I think you just look at the profile of what's going on nationally and some of the top teams, you're going to have to kind of look to continue to figure out who you are, how you want to go about winning, and then be consistent in that. And I think they would tell you even this year, because of injuries and maybe a harder schedule than they thought, they didn't always know kind of how that was going to look.
Fair enough. That's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, thanks a ton for all our Husker baseball conversations. I'm sure we'll have some in recruiting or if any news breaks on them. But if not, we'll be talking some Husker football throughout the summer and into the fall. Thanks as always, Evan. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Austin. See ya.
Evan joined us on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. That's where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Check out all Evan's work on the Omaha World Herald. It's omaha.com. Also, make sure you give him a follow at Evan Bland, OWH. One final segment for On the Block before we turn it over to Old School after this.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Make plans to attend the Nebraska Whiskey Carnival this Saturday at Sideshow Spirits in Lincoln. This unique one-day festival highlights Nebraska distilleries, local vendors, and chill music. A general admission ticket gets you a custom tasting glass and free samples from the distillery booths. Food trucks will be on site to sell food and snacks, and cigars will be available for purchase. Get your tickets today at SideshowSpirits.com. It's the Whiskey Carnival this Saturday from 3 to 6 p.m. at Sideshow Spirits at 16th and P.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Sometimes you got to try hard to strike out. That's the moral of the story. X.
Slow motion out there in the street.
Dang.
Not on O Street, though.
Not on O Street and not at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Really appreciate them for everything they do for us here on the show. That's who Nick's golfing with. Big shout out to Gary and his crew down there at Heartland of Nebraska Windows, based out of Hallam, offering a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give them a call today for more info, 402-430-3852. Or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. All right, Jay, I was asked this trivia question earlier today. I know you were going to be a running back coming into Nebraska, and you got moved to linebacker. So DP asked today, how many first-team All-American running backs has Nebraska had in school history?
Oh, man, that's tough. I mean, and Johnny Rodgers doesn't count because he was a wingback.
Correct. Johnny Rodgers does not count.
First team All-American. Nebraska's had at least.
I got the number right. I didn't get all the names.
At least 16.
First team All-Americans.
Oh,
first team.
First team. I say 10.
4.
Really?
4 first team All-Americans.
Well, Mike Rozier. It has to be Tony Davis, right?
It was not Tony Davis.
First team All-American. Amon Green?
Not first team.
Calvin Jones?
Not Calvin Jones.
Well, hell. Lawrence Phillips? No.
Not LP. So Mike Rozier is the most recent one. I'll tell you that much. First team All-American.
He's the most recent one?
So
these dudes I ain't never heard of before.
Oh, you heard of these guys. I'm telling you heard of these guys.
Before Mike Rozier.
Yes, one of them.
Is Johnny Rodgers on there?
Johnny Rodgers is not on there. One of them was an All-American in 1980. First team All-American, 1980.
At Nebraska? Jarvis Redwine?
Jarvis Redwine. Before him, it was in 1971.
So he's a running back on Johnny Rodgers' team.
Yep. Jeff Kinney.
That's right.
Kinney.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then before that, Bobby Reynolds in 1950.
I know those. I know 3 of them. I don't know Bobby Reynolds.
I didn't either.
That's crazy.
How many first-team All-American quarterbacks does Nebraska had?
T. Frage, Crouch, Turner Gill.
Not Turner. There are 4 more, so 6 first-team All-American quarterbacks.
Steve Taylor.
Steve.
Jerry Taggy. And how many I got left?
2 more. Taggy's successor and Taggy's successor.
I don't know who was after Jerry Taggy.
Dave Hum.
Oh, man, yeah.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, lefty.
And Vince Ferragamo.
I forgot he went to Nebraska. I should have known that.
Yeah.
I wasn't. See, the thing is, I wasn't up on my Nebraska history back then.
That's okay. That's okay.
I didn't like Nebraska until Coach Osborne started coming to the crib.
And it worked.
It did.
He sold you.
He's the best salesman out there. You need to increase your sales. Have Coach Osborne come over to your house.
Pretty good things about his sales pitch. Well, Jay,
he knew everything about my dad. Everything.
Everything?
Man, he had my dad hook, line, and sinker.
Okay. 4 linebackers, first team All-Americans. You got 30 seconds.
Man, I don't even think Levante David was on there.
Levante.
Farley?
Not Farley. This is like middles. So.
Levante. Mike Anderson.
Not Mike Anderson.
Bear Ruud.
No, not first team. Carlos Polk, Ed Stewart, Jerry Murtaugh.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jerry. Yeah. Ed Stewart. Yeah, Polk. Yeah, I forgot that too.
Yeah. Old school comes your way in just a moment.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The